Because yesterday I am determined to see. And I said that a lot.
Yes.
And when I was walking, feeling that thing coming on that's going to descend me down the thing, I was quick to say, I also feel like I push the feelings aside. So I don't want to do that. I'm going to spend a few minutes today and feel the feelings because they were kind of icky. And it's important to feel and let them go. But at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, I was still determined to see.
Mm-hmm.
I said that a lot yesterday. I'm really proud of myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Right on.
what gives us that determination is a gift from God.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not everybody has that determination. I know
Yeah.
I have it. I've been
Yeah.
given it, like, from a very small age. I recognized it, that
Yeah.
I have this determination, and it's a gift.
Yeah.
I really, like, how else can we even do anything, like attempt anything, attend anything without it? It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And your decision to see is all that's required. And it's the same with everything. As soon as you make a decision, then we've heard this, that when you
Mhm.
make a decision, the universe conspires to bring you into that path or to bring what you need. And that's very true. So once you make a decision to see is all that vision requires. So yesterday was a very interesting day after I am determined to see. So welcome back to A Course in Miracles, Workbook for Students. That was a quick summary of, well, we were talking about that, of lesson 20, and today we're on lesson 21. And we're just going to expand on yesterday's I am determined to see, because today is called I am determined to see things differently. Number one, the idea for today is obviously a continuation and extension of the preceding one. This time, however, specific mind-searching periods are necessary in addition to applying the idea to particular situations as they may arise. 5 practice periods are urged, allowing a full minute for each.
Number 2. In the practice periods, begin by repeating the idea to yourself. Then close your eyes and search your mind carefully for situations past, present, or anticipated that arouse anger in you. The anger may take the form of any reaction ranging from mild irritation to rage. The degree of the emotion you experience does not matter. You will become increasingly aware that a slight twinge of annoyance is nothing but a veil drawn over intense fury. Mhm.
Number 3
Oh,
for
sorry. Yep, I'm coming. Try, therefore, not to let the little thoughts of anger escape you in the practice periods. Remember that you do not really recognize what arouses anger in you, and nothing that you believe in this connection means anything. You will probably be tempted to dwell more on some situations or persons than on others, on the fallacious grounds that they are more obvious. This is not so. It is merely an example of the belief that some forms of attack are more justified than others.
Number 4, as you search your mind for all the forms in which attack thoughts present themselves, hold each one in mind while you tell yourself, I am determined to see the name of a person differently. I am determined to see the situation differently.
Number 5. Try to be as specific as possible. You may, for example, focus your anger on a particular attribute of a particular person, believing that the anger is limited to this aspect. If your perception is suffering from this form of distortion, say, I am determined to see, specifically the attribute, in whoever, the name of the person differently.
Well, and this also reminds me of a couple lessons ago, the cause and effect. The anger is a reaction to a thought we had that we're not even aware of what the thought was that created the
Mhm.
anger. And it's just like I'm looking at Nina, but I'm not really mad at Nina, but I'm angry.
Yes.
So
Right.
it's like there was
Yes. So you're not angry at me, you're angry at your thought that you believe about me.
And that's the awareness, is knowing that it's not a person, place, or well, I mean, I'm not sure that this is it, but we see, like, I'm angry. All of a sudden I'm angry and I see something and I blame that instead of going, okay, I had a thought that's not very nice. So I
And
guess
you
the minute
believed it.
we're
Yeah.
supposed to do our thing.
Yes, you're actually believing your thought about me, and that belief is not real.
Yeah.
But because you believe it's real, you're going to side with it. You make it your alliance, and then you're justified.
Right?
Yeah. It's when we attach to these thoughts, we become their friends. They're us. And we got to work on their behalf. You know, if we have an angry thought, okay, we got to go out into the world and blame somebody, right?
When you say it like that, it's so absurd, but we're just not aware, right? Which is
Yeah.
why we're doing this material, is to bring
Yeah.
awareness to that we're not even aware we have a thought that creates havoc, whatever it might be, whether it's happy, sad. We accept the happy ones because everyone likes to be happy, but we don't like to accept the ones, oh, I'm sad, I'm depressed, I'm angry, I'm like over the top angry or whatever. We don't like those. So then we make something out of that.
But we've made happiness an object as well, because we
Yeah.
think happiness is based on an object.
Yeah.
And so we cling to those, but that's just as the same as being attached to an an angry thought as a
Yeah.
happy thought, because they're both attachments and they're both projections.
And
They're
they're
both
both illusions.
Yes, they're both illusions. They're not true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you think maybe that you are happy, and like I think what you said is correct. The happiness is also the attachment. And so when somebody interrupts that attachment with
Mhm.
something else like anger, then that's what gets our top spinning.
Yeah, you believe that they're taking your happiness
That's
away.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing is that we're allowing that to happen. They're
Yeah.
not doing anything
Yeah.
because
You
our
gave permission
thoughts,
for that.
it's our thoughts
Yeah.
about it.
Kelly, that is quite profound. And you're right. We've attached to the happy,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
but it's just as equally. I mean, we want to be happy. We want to be loving and peaceful, but happy is still like just a arbitrary feeling, just
It
like
becomes a
upset is.
dependence on things that make us happy. Then we become dependent on that.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're not. We're independent.
Mm-hmm.
We're not dependent on any object for happiness because we hold the happiness within us because
Right.
it's eternal and it's forever. It's our birth. It's who we are. It's like
So we should just be like a conduit for feelings, be able to feel them and then let them go.
Yeah.
yeah, and they will
Just
go on their own.
like a river flowing.
Yeah.
Yes. And if a rock gets thrown into the river, we just keep flowing. Like
Mm-hmm.
we
That's
don't
right.
freak out over the rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't make the rock good or bad, or
Right.
it doesn't make you happy or sad or angry. It's just a rock that that went in the river.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's actually a great analogy because that rock into the river has no determining factor on the water in it continuing to flow.
Yeah. It might have a little ripple once in a while.
Right.
It'll create a little ripple, but if we pay attention to the ripple, we make it into a bigger
Mm-hmm.
problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in a river, there's flow. So you're not
Yes.
going to see much of the ripple
No, that's
unless
right.
you choose to make that, instead of enjoying the whole flow, you're going to
Yeah.
look at something so specific.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the rock
So
is
that,
going to go down to the bottom and never be heard from again.
unless a dog brings it up.
Probably a
If your
stick.
dog is a rock chaser.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. The rock, and that's another good analogy for feeling your feelings.
Yeah.
It's just a rock in the river. It's just a feeling flowing through.
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
that the continuation of the truth can flow through. Oh, you just had a rock in your river, and we can just, it's your awareness, there it is, it can
Yeah.
flow by, and it's processed and it's good.
And even when somebody offers you, you know, they will say things to try to get you to jump onto their thoughts, like to interact and argue.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we can become aware of what we're doing,
Yeah.
arguing, debating, trying to be right, trying to correct others. Sometimes we just get into this angry place, like we want to correct.
What's righteous? It's righteous anger.
Yes, and that will happen. There's nothing wrong with it,
Yeah.
but to recognize it, that's all, just to notice that it's what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the practice periods, begin by repeating. So today we only have to do it 5 times, so I'm not going to do it all day like I did yesterday. I'm kind of bummed about that. I like it. In the practice periods, begin by repeating the idea to yourself. Then close your eyes and search your mind carefully for situations, past, present, or anticipated, that arouse anger in you. The anger may take the form of any reaction ranging from mild irritation to rage. The degree of the emotion you experience does not matter. You will become increasingly aware that a slight twinge of annoyance is nothing but a veil drawn over intense fury. That's an interesting line right there, too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A slight twinge of annoyance is nothing but a veil drawn over intense fury.
right. It's almost like, because if that fire wasn't already burning, it right, you're just hampering it down, and every once in a while you can't deal with it anymore, and then it becomes that little twinge, but eventually it will go back to that
Yeah.
fury, depending on what it is. So
My,
maybe it has
yeah.
to exist there first.
Yeah. So for one example, what arouses anger in me? One example, and it's very subtle. When other people tell me what I should like
Mm,
Yeah.
or what's good for me,
mm-hmm,
like it's like, how can anybody know what's good for me, right?
mm-hmm,
Because they don't even know who I am, and I don't
Yeah.
need anything because I am the spirit, right? I'm spirit. Like, I don't need anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's a subtle thing, but it arouses anger in me. It's like, or they tell me that this person is really, really amazing. This person is so good, and they're trying to convince me.
mm-hmm,
It I feel that upsetness coming in. I don't
mm-hmm,
know why.
mm-hmm,
It just happens. Like, I want to be able to make those. I want to be able, like, I'm sovereign being. I don't.
mm-hmm,
I want to be able to experience the world on for myself, come to my own conclusions, enjoy this world, enjoy this life from my own eyes, not be told from another person's eyes what the
mm-hmm,
world is and how good it is. Because I want to have my own experience.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? We're funny beings. I don't like being told what to do. I don't know how I had jobs for years. I don't like being told. And my parents, you need to do this. I don't even remember
Yeah,
my parents,
because
my
they
dad
think
saying, you need,
it's good for you.
yeah, I have the experience. I've made mistakes. I even said to my dad, well, I need to make my own mistakes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, the protection. Oh yeah, like my sister. Okay, I love all my sisters, but they're my older ones. They always come across as if they need to protect me for some reason. And if I make a mistake, they always have a piece of advice right there, instant advice. And I'm just like, it's like I'm in this little cocoon, and I can't have my own life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm feeling like it's being stolen away or something.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's just an awareness
Yeah.
of who I think I am, and I'm not.
Well, we still are human
Hmm.
beings.
We're still
Yes, we have this human body to have this
well,
human
Yeah.
experience.
Mm-hmm.
but there's this attachment that we think we have to agree with others. too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's their ideas. Yeah. And we don't need anything. We really don't need anything or any. We can enjoy the world from our own experience, but we don't have to be told how to experience the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's not their job for us. It's our job for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And then it says, remember that you do not really recognize what arouses anger in you. You kind of do in that one case. And nothing that you believe in this connection means anything. And that's your awareness too, is that you realize that it doesn't mean anything.
Right. It's unreal.
I'll be right back.
Sure.
Yesterday was the first time that, where was it? I wanted to mention that. Like, it didn't surprise me, just the name of this course, A Course in Miracles, that it would have some kind of a spiritual connotation.
Yeah, it does the word of miracles. Yeah.
Right. And but yesterday was kind of the first lesson, coming up to lesson 20, where it talked about salvation and God has one son, and the resurrection and heaven. And I thought, that's interesting, because I'm surprised that it took 20 lessons for us to get there. But like, is this put on by a particular group, or?
No, no, this book was channeled by a psychologist, a professor
Mhm.
at a really prestigious university in the States. I can't remember
Yeah,
the university, but
in New
she
York.
she channeled, and she was actually an atheist. She didn't believe in God at all,
Mhm.
but she channeled this and was told that these are the words of Jesus, and she just wrote them down as she heard them.
Hmm.
Yeah. And she even
What I
admitted
miss.
at some point, she even admitted that she couldn't follow this course. Like she couldn't do it.
Right.
Her name is Schumann?
Helen.
Helen
Helen Suckman, I think.
Suckman, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. We were just talking about, I was just mentioning yesterday, yesterday was the first kind of indicator in the text that they talked about salvation and God has one son and heaven and all of that. And right. And not that I didn't think there wasn't a spiritual context to this, but it all of a sudden kind of lended to a different
Mhm.
perspective of being from, a Christian
Churchy.
perspective, or yes, exactly.
Mhm.
And
And
those
even those
words,
words, if they bring up any resistance in you, can also be part of the lesson.
Right.
of course,
Yes.
of
Mm-hmm.
course.
Because we're
And
attached to words. We're
Mm-hmm.
attached to these concepts.
Right.
And we don't,
and we're just not into the church, but we believe in our spirituality.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we as in all of us, but so
Yeah.
sometimes, people have I did have a bad church experience. So I'm not into the church structure, but I totally believe that there's God in me. God's
Yeah.
not an external thing. But that sort of, we're getting out of the.
yeah, it's the words we use to describe God. God isn't God. God is just the name we call
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
what we cannot describe,
Right.
the
And what
unnameable,
we cannot see,
and
because
formless and nameless.
yeah,
But we
yeah.
have to give it a name and a form because that's what the mind does.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, God.
And we're being unwound from attachments to words and attachments to concepts. Those are all coming from the mind. They're not
Yeah,
coming from God.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's funny, one of my students I used a swear word at, and he's like, don't say it. And it's like, it's just a word. Same with some words. Don't say that word around me. It's just a word. It's a spell, actually. But we need a means to communicate. So there's some words. They're just words.
Yeah. But when I'm in somebody's presence and they say, please don't say this, I literally will honor that. I need to honor that because that's how I would want to be treated.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
It's
point.
the
Oh, of
golden
course.
rule, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. But it's funny what is coming into our awareness. And
Yes.
like Kelly said, yesterday was the first, was it yesterday or before that?
Mhm.
Yeah. God has one
Lesson
son
20.
and salvation somewhere in here,
Yes, lots of
resurrection in the life. So it became very churchy, and that's interesting to be triggered by that too.
Mhm.
yes,
Just good awareness.
very good awareness.
Yeah.
Because my daughter came over yesterday, and we were looking at. I was telling her about this course, and she was curious about it. And I said, look at this book. For starters, it looks like a Bible, and the pages are like a Bible pages. So what is that all about? Right? I was starting to go, okay, am I going to find that this at some point I'm becoming a Jehovah's Witness, or like where is this going? Because it feels like it's not up front.
It can become a trap, though. The ego can use anything to become a trap
True.
because then you got to be right about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Yeah. So that was just interesting.
yes, yeah, yeah. It is interesting. Yeah.
So
Yes.
you're
But
suspicious, Kelly. You
I
had
just
a
was.
you had
I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah. I was just going to try and justify how I wasn't suspicious, but the fact is, I was.
yeah, we can put everything on the table now. We don't have to
Right?
hide our private thoughts
Yeah.
anymore because they don't define us.
Right.
Yeah.
And if we're going to defend ourselves, that means we've defined ourselves by something.
Yeah.
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 And the
And God wants
idea
me to
of
work this
this
out.
group is free speech, just to be able to, a safe space to be able to
Mhm.
say,
Yeah.
what is this, a cult? What is this, something else? This is something external. No, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it is. Maybe we become, A Course in Miracle junkies or something. I don't know, but it's good to explore and become aware of what we're thinking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Agreed.
And this course is really just for ourselves. It's not to use it against people to try to proselytize, or
Yep.
what do you call it? Like, no, that's not what we're doing here.
Prophesize.
Like, solicit.
Preach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure, well, no one, not in here. I think it was in another book, the presence process. It's a breathing technique, and
Mm-hmm.
you have a profound change when you do this breathing technique too, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want everyone to do it. Well, it's kind of like
I,
this. I think it's good
Mhm.
everyone read this, but
That's the mind doing that. The mind wants something.
Yeah.
The mind
yeah,
is always wanting something. So it's good to see that I am determined to see things differently. Like, okay, what is that triggers that desire?
Mm-hmm.
Either we want something from the world or we want to give something to the world. It's like an object.
Right.
But if the world doesn't want it, it's like, okay, like there's nothing I need to project onto the world at all.
and yet we've done the opposite our whole lives to this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. That's the conditioning of the world is to, yeah, what we give out, we're going to get back. So if we push things on people, we're going to start witnessing things being pushed on us. It's just a mirror.
Yeah.
And
And I was just thinking of when you said you don't like when people tell you how you should think. That's a frequency you hold.
yeah,
Just like the frequencies I hold of I don't like being told what to do in my list, in my being, there's a
Mhm.
frequency that says, don't tell me what to do. So
Mhm.
that
Right.
it comes up periodically.
It's louder than the others.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I sometimes call it a
yes,
conveyor belt. When it's time to feel something, it comes around on the conveyor belt,
yes.
Mhm.
and if you
True.
don't feel it, it goes back on the conveyor belt. And not that everything's in order. It's just it goes onto the conveyor belt until it's time to come back around to feel.
Feel
Could
it
be
again.
5 minutes from now, it could be whatever, but it goes back. It's like,
And around
okay,
again.
feel it. And our
Mhm.
goal is to have nothing on the conveyor belt, which will never happen. And there's
Right.
nothing wrong with that. It's
Mhm.
just remembering to
Yes,
feel what you feel.
yes. It's not, there'll always be something on the conveyor belt, but it's
Yeah.
how we respond to it that matters.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 We can
Respond or
react
react.
in fear or anger, or we can just look upon it like it's okay to be there. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything. Yeah.
And that's what I mean. When it comes around and you're not fearful, it's like, oh, okay, I'll feel this.
Yeah.
And then it's off the conveyor belt.
That's right.
So yeah.
It's healed in the mind.
Yeah. Yeah. In the mind.
It has to be healed up here first, and then and then it won't show up anymore. Like
Mhm.
there's a lot of things that just
That's
don't
very
show up
true.
anymore in my life because
Absolutely.
I've it's like I've learned it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have the same thing, on my walk yesterday, I realized I was not feeling the feelings around my events. And I was reminded that you've been through this. You've had this conveyor belt come around before,
Mhm.
and this feeling come around before. And um, you've had bigger feelings that you thought would kill you, and you cried hard, but you survived. Like these are not hard feelings, but I like to make it hard. And I'm going to avoid it because it's so hard. Oh my God, the drama, right? If I had just felt it, then it would be off my conveyor belt.
Mhm.
But, we're still, like you say, we're still conditioned and we still resist a little bit and react and respond. It's awareness. It's like, oh,
Fear of the unknown, I guess. Fear of God, because God is the unknown. It's who we are. It's God isn't out there. It's the unknown places within ourselves that we've never visited, that we've never actually sat with and
yeah,
met within ourselves. We have to meet everything in within
yeah,
ourselves
yes,
to create that feeling of wholeness. And it's not a creation, it's who we are.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that you joined us, Nina, and offered your perspective.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. Yeah,
Yes.
it just happened. It's like,
Yep.
wow,
Yep.
that was very, I didn't do that. Like that just happened. Like, what did I
Yep.
do?
And who's crazy enough to join us at 5:30 in the morning? But this is a
It's
wonderful way to start the day, right?
It
it's the
is.
desire of the heart, and the opportunity showed up, and I
Yeah.
recognized it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Think about all the opportunities that we just don't recognize
Yeah.
that are there all the time, but we don't see them.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
right. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's the end of the recording then. Have a wonderful day.